Why is it hard to see like really hardcore African dance in these videos? We are going to talk about today why do we see more dancehall movements in this kind of mix of African vibe, like these Afro beats vibe on these musics. We kind of see like that dancehall vibe on it, which is really good, but um where can we put more spice of real Afro beats on these musics? If you've already seen all this music that I'm sharing right now here. I can't play the songs because of copyrights, but why can't we see like those hardcore moves of like for Kuduro, Afro House, Amapiano, Kwaito, Pantula, or Afrobeats or Sabar? Why can't we see those on these videos? Like on Whiskey's videos, on some videos of Davido, Chris Brown collaborations. I think it's because the African dance itself is a very fast dance. And the way that the beats are made for African dancing and the drumming is now really slow. It's actually fast. So when we hear these genres, like these slow R&B genres, then sometimes we find difficulties to incorporate the movements, and which means we have to do some variations and actually be extra creative, and not every dancer can do that, and that's really hard. That's really hard when you actually want to try not to add any hip hop in the African dance genre, because right now we all know what Amapiano is, what Kuduro, what Afro House, what Sabar, what Kintwen, what Kabetula, what Afrobeats is, and the list goes on, what Kwaito is. We already know all these dances, right? They're very popular. What is really holding all these dances to still be some of the dance community's favorite dances, to do in workshops, in classes, when people travel to teach? What is actually what is making us still relevant when we see these music videos like Mona Lisa, when we see the collaborations that Chris Brown does with Wizkid, with Davido, and these are videos that reach like 100 million views, like 70,000 something crazy views, like we see like really, really extremely huge views on these videos. But even though the intention looks like it's an African vibe, but the dance is it's a completely whole different story, because you don't see 100% African dance on these musics. You either see R&B or even dancehall movements on it. So I think dancehall right now, I don't know what they call, but I just refer to it as dancehall because that's what I see. Most of my friends, when they do dancehall, those moves are really similar to those. So the thing that I'm trying to say is, I think dancehall it went through a transition, and it's becoming more Afrobeats now. You know, when they do music like this, and you see all those movements, and all those body rolls. Not many African dances have a lot of body rolls on it. And those look really nice on this music because it combines, you know, and I think dancehall has these slow R&B vibes on it that looks really great. So how can we African dancers be part of these genres, like do the whole dance completely from the start to end without any influence of other styles on it? That's what we're talking about here in this video. So we have already seen a lot of popular dancers in the internet, whereby when they dance to a fast beat of African music or even electronic music or house music, they use house dance with African dance on it. So you can see the footwork, it has some house dance movements on it, and it's not completely African dance. Like when I say African dance, I'm saying like dances like Afrobeats, Kwaito, the ones I mentioned in the beginning, Afro House, Kuduro, Patsola. It doesn't have much to do with that. So how can you identify when it's really 100% just African dance, or when it's just when it's just house dance, when it's hip hop? Because everything is becoming one thing right now, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Everything is becoming one thing right now. But where do we want to go? What is the direction we're trying to get to? That's the question. Because if everything is becoming one thing, what is the future of the dance community? What is the future of the dancers, of the creatives? What is the future of those that created those foundations, those roots of different cultures? Because right now we are getting and more connected to internet, and that's where most of us live right now. We are on our phones 24/7. We are on our phones, and that's where most of our lives is right now. I'm saying this because it's true. You might say no, but you're watching this video maybe from your phone or maybe from your PC, but this is where we are right now. And the more we see things, the more we become part of it. So meaning, I think in the future, things are gonna be looking more like one, but there's gonna be a lot of confusion, especially for those creatives, because if you don't do what is being done right now, you are not relevant. So the question is, I think we can explore what we have as African dance style genre and start mixing a little bit or doing some variations or start creating again, because all the creativity that brought us here, it's all in the 90s, 80s, or 70s. Because after the 1995 or 2000s, there really hasn't been much being created after that. Right now, we're just going through, recycle, picking moves from the 90s. I'm saying here, at least most African dance are picking moves from the 90s, from the 80s, things that already existed, and they're just redoing this a different way. Or sometimes we're actually just doing it 100% like it used to be. Now that things are changing and more musics like this are really coming up, and us dancers, because here on this channel we talk about dance and being professional and creative, like how can we stay with the brothers and sisters doing dance hall on this Afrobeats music? How can we catch up? Because we're not there. They are actually going, and we are still here with our roots, with our music, with our kuduro, with our Afro house, with our amapiano, kwaito, and Afrobeats music. But when you get these dancers from Africa to participate in these music videos, which is more R&B, which is more slow, sometimes there could be a little bit of difficulty in performing like we do when it's our 100% root music. And I've seen that happen a lot of times, because me myself, I've also try to sometimes change my mindset and say, okay, now instead of me doing dancehall to this song from Chris Brown, how about I study again? I go back to the books, I study again the whole process of Afro House and Kuduro, and actually pick this and that move to start creating something new so that I don't have to mix hip hop or breaking to be able to dance to Chris Brown slow, like really R&B kind of genre. You see, that's where we're trying to go with this video, try to figure out how can we participate and be part of these videos. Because what happens right now, there is as dancers sometimes we look for shortcuts. Like if producers in the US can't really get African dancers to perform in these amazing beats, because we know Davido and all these artists, they travel from Africa to do these collaborations. We dancers can do the same, travel from Africa to do collaborations. But when we get there to do collaborations, how can we collaborate with the dancers doing R&B and doing dancehall? Because we know dancehall in the US is a huge thing, and that's like because they're Africans, of course, but that's like the Afro beats of the US. That's like the Amapianos and Afro house of the US. So most of these musicians will always, always, always use some influence of dancehall, because most of the really popular dancehall choreographers are over there. So when you get there, they are obviously fan of the African dance genre that it's in Africa, but how can that be used? So the reason why I'm saying this is in 2019, I was in the US, I was doing an audition for Beyonce, and Shaquille Knight, the choreographer, was there, and he was exploring, looking at amazing African dancers, just doing freestyle, just doing choreography to some of Beyonce's music. And I think they wanted to see what can be done, like to study, because they are studying. If we don't study, we're gonna be like left behind. We won't be able to perform with these huge artists. And I know that's the dream of some of our brothers here in Africa that want to be able to perform someday with Chris Brown, with Rihanna, with Beyonce. So how can you be creative enough for your dance to actually get to that level? So as he was watching the dancers, I realized that in the end, they decided to get some of the African, really, really, African dancers that do this, that are used to doing these African dances, to actually perform with Beyonce on her at that time, 2009, music videos. There were actually Africans from Africa performing on the music videos that she was releasing. And that was great, because obviously Beyonce, her music is a little bit faster, so that helps. But when it's too slow, when we get to Chris Brown level, when we get to some of the recent Davido and Wizkid level, and when we get to these Usher levels, then you will see more African dances disappearing. So that's the question. How can we catch up? Like, how can we convert our dance to actually be versatile enough to perform with them without us leaving the dance floor? Yeah, so that's, if you think about it, you start seeing these music videos, you realize that there really isn't much African dancing on it. Yeah, trust me when I say this. I understand dancehall is an African dance as well, but when we talk about African dance right now at this moment, you are going to expect to see Amapiano. See, this is why I'm using these words, not to say that Jamaicans aren't Africans. Of course they are. But when most people talk about African dance, we already know what most people are referring to, because that's an issue that I already addressed here on this channel. If you really cannot see the difference of all the genres from dances made in Africa, it's hard for you to actually make up people's mind. Because for example, when you go to a class to teach Afro House, one of the first things that I have difficulty explaining people is the difference between Afro House and Kudro. And what I say is, Kuduro is Afro House. Afro House is Kuduro. But since Afro House is more popular, the word Afro House is more popular, the title. If you say Afro House, if you're gonna teach Kuduro, people will not many people come to your class because they know they will follow the name Afro House because it's more popular, it exists longer, it's something that stays in people's mind really quick. So when you get to class, you are actually, sometimes I have to explain, look guys, Afro House is a word, it's a title that was used in South Africa, but Angolans also managed to get that influence and actually started to make their own genre of Afro House in Angola, which is actually Kuduro, but they named it Afro House because it's popular, so they can sell, so they can market, so we can actually get inside this realm. See? So if I say another name, people will not understand what I'm talking about. That's why I say African dance. So you already know it's Afrobeats, Amapiano, Kuduro, Afro House, and like that. Even though dancehall is also an African dance, but most people when they go search online to say African dance, you will not find many people searching for dancehall on that research. Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that because people will say, Manuel, you're talking too much about dancehall as if it's not African dance. It is. So how can we use more African dances in these videos so we can also be part of this fusion that's going on? Because dancehall has dominated the industry for years. Has dominated the industry for years in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and now it's back. All right, guys, so that concludes our video for today. I'll see you guys on the next one. All these videos that I make is just to reflect on how the dance is going on right now and what are the fusions that are impacting the dance community and how can we all be part of something big. Like how can we actually do variations, more combinations, more collaborations, more opportunities, so we can actually also continue be part of this amazing art industry. So the best source for all this, and which also helped me throughout my dance career, is being the versatility. Just having versatility is very important. You should not say like, I don't do this dance, I don't like that dance, I'm never gonna try that dance, I'm not gonna try African dance, I'm not gonna try hip hop. All the people that had this mindset are right now learning all the dances that they refused to learn a few years ago, because the industry requires us artists to be versatile. If you want to be a professional dancer or professional artist, you gotta try to be versatile because things change. Maybe the hip hop era can come back and all these African dances that we're doing right now could go down again. So yeah, it's all about being creative. It's all about going with the wave, understanding what's going on, so we can actually be able to still be relevant in the industry, because it is what we're looking for, right? So this is what we talk about here. And let me know your comments below, what you think about this topic. Let me know what you think about this topic, and what should I say on the next one, and what did I miss on this one. If I also said something wrong, let me know, correct me down below. Let's talk about it. Ora, hello, my name is Manuel Kanza. Once again, we're here on I Love Kuduro, here on the program called Central Kuduro, all right? So today I have three. Yeah, I have Bima, Greti, and Miguel. His name is Michael. And today we are gonna talk a little bit about how much they know about Kuduro and Afro House. So it's gonna be an interesting interview. So make sure that you stick there with us because it's gonna be fun. All right? Então, Mr. Bima, como é que é?
Tudo em dia.
Tudo em dia?
Tudo em dia.
Greti, como é?
Tudo em dia, graças
Estás
a Deus.
tímida?
Não estou tímida. Não tenho porquê.
Ah, é?
Não.
Ok, então.
Tudo ok, prof.
Tudo ok?
Tudo ok, na boa.
Na boa?
Yes.
Ok, vem mais aqui para frente. Eu vou começar com o Greti. Greti, você sabe quando é que Kuduro começou? Em que ano mais ou menos? Tens ideia?
Ih, Jesus. Não.
Não? Queres
Não.
pedir ajuda aqui a alguns colegas?
Gostaria.
A quem?
Ao
Escolhe.
Bima.
O Bima?
Sim.
Bima, tens mais ou menos ideia?
Tenho mais ou menos ideia. Na década de 90, se não erro, na década de 90.
Ok. O que achas, Michael?
Não, realmente é verídico porque lembro que quando eu fui nascido, ao longo do meu crescimento, eu já ouvia Kuduro.
Já ouvias Kuduro?
Já ouvia Kuduro. Ouvia Kuduro em termos de música e em termos de dança. Eu já apreciava, desde pequeno.
Ok, então não vou perguntar a idade de cada um aqui, mas vocês que estão aqui, ninguém está abaixo de 99. Alguns nasceram em 2002, 2003.
Não, todos estão abaixo de 99.
Ah, é?
Creio.
Ok. ok. Então, qual foi o primeiro toque que você aprendeu no estilo Kuduro, Greti? Qual é o primeiro toque que podes lembrar assim? Ou qual é o toque que vem mais na tua cabeça quando danças Kuduro?
Abro o livro.
Abre o livro. Quer mostrar um pouquinho? Abre o livro. Vai, mostra um pouco. Vai. Tomas. Ok. E você, Bima? Vem aqui à frente, Bima. Qual é um dos toques que veio na tua cabeça quando fala de Kuduro?
Quando fala de Kuduro, Tinogueira.
Tinogueira?
Tinogueira.
Mostra ainda um pouquinho aqui, Tinogueira. Tinogueira é bem agressivo, esquece. Vamos lá, Michael. O que vem na tua cabeça?
Olha, falando de Kuduro, falando da longos tamborões, estás a ver? Então eu me refiro de Kuduro, falo mesmo toque do melindro.
Do melindro, né?
Aquele tempo mesmo lá.
Mostra ainda. Ei!
Esses toques que na qual, eu digo que esse mesmo Kuduro de verdade, é o mesmo nosso Kuduro, a essência. Você sente mesmo, não?
Yeah.
Entende-se, o tempo vai indo, as coisas vão passando, né? E também tá aí, mas esse é o Kuduro do milênio mesmo. Você tá vendo os pais mesmo...
Ei! Ok, essa é boa. Então, o Kuduro surge nos finais dos anos 80, no princípio dos anos 90, por aí. Tony Amado naquela fase, né? Porque o filme do Jean-Claude Van Damme, sabemos que o Tony Amado surge aquela como é que eu posso, inspiração para criar o Kuduro devido àquela interação com o filme do Jean-Claude Van Damme. E esse filme saiu em 1989. Quer dizer que nós aqui, se calhar, assistimos em 91 ou 92. Então, o Kuduro deve ser daqueles tempos, 91, 92 ou 93. Então, sendo assim, antes do Tony Amado vir com o Kuduro, ele já tinha inventado uma dança chamada Let the Boy.
Ok.
Mas naquele tempo que surgiu o Kuduro, já existia uma dança chamada Underground.
Exato.
Vocês já ouviram de Underground?
Já.
Então, a dança Underground, que era a mistura de vários passos, tipo de break, techno, porque o Kuduro veio daquele surgimento da inspiração da música eletrônica, por isso os BPM e tudo mais. Então, eu quero agradecer vocês por estarem aqui no programa em geral, que é o I Love Kuduro, mas estamos aqui no Kuduro Central. Eu quero que o Michael nos fale um pouquinho sobre o que você faz além da dança, porque sabemos que você é dançarino. Quer se apresentar um pouquinho aí para o pessoal, porque esse é um programa internacional. Vende aí um pouquinho o teu peixinho, fala aí um pouquinho sobre ti, para as pessoas conhecerem bem quem é o Mr. Michael. Vamos lá,
Okay.
um minuto.
Olá, people. Daqui fala Miguel Brito Moya, é assim que fui registrado pelos meus pais e não tem como negar. Mas ao longo do meu crescimento foi indo adotando o nome. Maico é o meu nome artístico, é bailarino, eu sou. E além de dança, também faço parte de uma organização de decoração. Se já estás pronto para casar, eu estou aqui.
Está a vender muito peixe, chega.
Greta, desculpa.
Depois vamos deixar no rodapé.
Olá, daqui fala Grete Catarina é o meu nome. Bailarina e também, além de bailarina, coreógrafa de eventos do tipo casamentos, pedidos. Se estás para casar, estou aqui para coreografar as tuas damas. É basicamente isso.
Yes. Ok, good answer. Ok. Yeah. Podem falar aqui mesmo, tá bom?
Olá, sou Bima Marrom, Moraes Kikel, meu nome de registro. Sou bailarino e cantor, também técnico informático, faço venda de software de faturação, mas estou mais ligado à dança, porque é nela que vive. Se precisa de um bailarino, alguém para atuar no seu casamento, coreografar, tal como a atriz, o Bima também faz.
Vamos ainda inventar aqui um cheirinho. Canta ainda, esses dois vão dançar. Canta uma tua música, bora. Vamos.
Música.
Grete.
Yeah, okay.
Bora,
Ok.
bora.
Ah, ok. Olha, o toque vai ser assim, a música é Bebê Mete. Então, me segue, yeah? Bebê mete, assim mete bebê. E assim tira bebê. E assim mete bebê. E assim tira bebê. Mais ou menos isso, um cheirinho. E tá ligado nesta.
So once again, my name is Manuel Kanza. We're here on the Kudro Central, your program where we talk about Kudro, Afro House, and so much more. All the dance that we talk about here and music is based from Angola. And it's not different from the previous episode. Today I have 3 people here with me and we're going to talk about interesting facts of Kuduro and Afro House. Not only the dance, but the music. All right? So stay with us because we're going to begin. Então, estou aqui hoje com a Karina. Tudo bem, Karina?
Obrigada.
Então, seu gajo. Eu ia só falar seu gajo. Não pode. Corta a produção. Como te chama? Ok. Vou começar de novo. So, yes, here we are. And today they are going to make their presentation. Okay, so we're going to begin. And como te chamas?
Sou a Karina Pascoal.
Dançarina, que é cantora?
Sou bailarina, compositora de músicas infantis e coreógrafa também.
Uau, ok. Vamos lá.
Chamo-me Zenildo Tavares, também sou bailarino.
Ok, Zenildo.
Eu sou a Atriz Vieira, sou bailarina e cantora.
Ei, pelo swag. Ok, pessoal, muito bom. Hoje nós temos algumas perguntas interessantes. Então, vocês vão ter que se ajudar a responder essa pergunta que eu vou fazer para vocês. Então, quem é o cantor ou a cantora da música fogareiro? Espera.
O cantor da música fogarelo é A Noite e Dia.
É verdade?
É verdade, dá certo, é verídico.
É verdade?
Tá certo.
Ok. Quem é o cantor ou a cantora da música Olha o Boneco?
Sim. A cantora é a Titica.
Tenho certeza?
Ari Titica.
Exatamente, Aria Titica.
Estão armados que sabem inglês. Ok. Quem é o músico aqui em Angola que utiliza mais influências do Congo no seu Kuduro?
Essa pergunta passa ao meu colega.
Agora
Enquanto eu penso.
Passa. Que utiliza muito o dombolô.
Acho que é o Cleiton M.
Acho que é o puto português ou na coberta.
Até agora nada.
Pessoal, vocês estavam a responder, bué, agora que estou aí nas perguntas. Tá bom, eu acho, sabe por que essa pergunta foi fixe? Porque vocês são dançarinos. Então, vocês poderiam acertar quem é dos tops músicos que utiliza mais o gênero congolês no Kuduro. E a resposta certa é a Titica. Sim. Agora sente, né? Todas as músicas e performances da Titica tem muito a ver com... Não é?
Sim, sim.
Yeah? Ok, então, eu quero fazer mais algumas perguntas para vocês. Deixa eu ver. Quem cantou a música? Essa pergunta até vai ficar no ar. Vocês vão ter que também em casa participar. Autor da música Bela. Quem já respondeu? Quem quer falar?
Eu.
E quando é que surgiu essa música?
Foi do Troia, e se não me engano, no ano de 2013.
Ok. Concordas?
O ano, acho que é 2015.
Eu concordo que foi em 2013.
Ok. Então aí em casa também vocês vão pensar no assunto e vão tentar responder aqui essa última pergunta que foi lançada aqui para os nossos convidados, ok? Vamos então, a nossa entrevista foi boa, mas eles agora vão vender um pouquinho, falar um pouquinho sobre os seus trabalhos para vocês. Vamos aqui começar com a atriz. Bora, ok? Pode pegar o mic, se apresenta aí uns cochitos.
Olá pessoal, eu sou a Xatriz Vieira. Sou bailarina, sou cantora não de Kudro, de Gerozuk. Também sou técnica de enfermagem e por aí fora.
Ok. Zeninho.
Olá família, daqui fala para vocês, Senhor Tavares. Além de ser bailarino, também sou estudante e estou aberto para atividades para quem quiser no seu casamento, aniversário, tudo menos óbito. Para quem quiser, eu estou disponível,
E você?
Olá pessoal, sou a Karina Pascoal, nome artístico também Karina Pascoal. Sou bailarina, compositora e coreógrafa.
Ok. Então, Karina, vou lhe dar uma tarefa, como é assim em todos os programas. Antes da gente terminar, vocês três vão fazer uma coreografia e a Karina é que vai passar aqui nos colegas, ok? Fechamos então. So today was another show. Karina is going to give a little bit of a breakdown of her class here, so don't go nowhere, ok? Vamos lá, Karina, desculpa. Yeah, ok, bora lá. O palco é todo teu.
Oiga. 1, 2, 3 e toma. Tira a mana do tambuleleno, não é toma? Tira do tambuleleno. Tira a mana do tambuleleno, não é toma? Mana do tambuleleno.